The full episode is now available on Patreon and YouTube memberships. Please see the link in the description for more details.
So, Preston, I actually wanted to piggyback off this conversation you had last night on your stream about how the Benjen mystery will never be resolved in a satisfying way. And you made some very good points. Do you mind, real quick for the audience, repeating the Too Long Didn't Read version of it?
No, my big thing about the Benjen thing was that it was a mystery box situation, and that's fine at first, but because it's been so long, our expectations of Benjen have grown now. So, I mean, Benjen disappeared in 1996. It's 2025. It's literally been 29 years that Benjen has been missing. And so if he comes back, I mean, if it's something simple like he's just dead, that seems underwhelming. If it's something like very large, like he's like from the show, like he's a Children of the Forest, half undead something or other, it seems a little over the top, And if he shows up in a really random place like Essos or anywhere south of the Wall, like that seems out of nowhere. It's just in general we've built it up in our heads that there's going to be something spectacular, but really nothing could satisfy us because the mystery box has been lingering too long.
And this is one of those big mysteries in Ice and Fire that stand out apart from the other mysteries because it makes its way into the show when a lot of them really don't. And I'll touch more on that in a minute, but most of the main big ones are eventually resolved in the show, and they are, where's Benjen? Who sent the assassin after Bran? And everything revolving the others, their goals, what they want, etc. Now, of course, the show, again, resolves all of them, and so far the books have only answered one.
Yeah. And
that was a little underwhelming, just like the Benjen... potential Benjen answer that we'll probably get in Wins. Jaime and Tyrion deduced that it was Joffrey who sent the assassin to kill Bran, which kind of makes sense. But also kind of doesn't. It makes sense in the sense where it's pointless and cruel to have this done to somebody, so yeah, of course Joffrey would be behind it, but also it's shaky because why use a Valyrian steel dagger out of all the other normal daggers out there?
Right.
It's on shaky ground. But in the show, it's Littlefinger, which is also kind of shaky, kind of not really. Because on one hand, using that dagger specifically that the Lannisters and their people would have access to works in his favor, but also it requires him to be extremely lucky with how the events worked out in his favor for both families to be already against each other in a way. It's insane luck.
Well, he is all right. I mean, Littlefinger is one of the luckiest people in all of fiction.
Yeah.
But yes.
There's just too many moving parts there. Not as much as the Olenna poisoning Joffrey moving parts, but there's a lot going for Littlefinger in the show. Just him being so lucky, it's unrealistic. And ironically, as underwhelming as it is, Joffrey doing it sounds the most legit, because Joffrey would have access to Robert's armory. Obviously, Joffrey was there, and finding a random person...
I'm not saying that, Joffrey... I mean, oh gosh, we're getting into cat's paw dagger here.
Here we go.
Look, Joffrey, he's a crazy spoiled brat. You could see him doing a lot of stuff, but even he wouldn't give a Valyrian, why would you need to provide the dagger to the murderer? That's just silly. Anyone has a dagger. Anyone has a sharp knife. You don't need to go and find some really nice cat's paw Valyrian dagger to pass on to somebody else. That's just stupid.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's the best explanation, but in regards to it being one of the big mysteries of the series, Joffrey doing it sounds like the least underwhelming, whereas Littlefinger doing it, like they answered in the show, just seems too ridiculous with how crazy lucky he is. Both book and show answers are underwhelming, but the Littlefinger one is just too ridiculous. The coordination required for this and how fast messages travel, no, it's just... And this is coming from me, a Littlefinger fan, so...
I mean, the coordination... Littlefinger has the strongest motivation of anyone. But the idea that somehow he has control over some character in a different location and is going to send him in at a certain time to do this assassination. Yeah, that's difficult considering that Littlefinger's in King's Landing and the Cat's Paw is all the way in the north. Then there's of course the Mance Rayder explanation, which also kind of, I think the Mance Rayder one fits.
Remind me of that one
pretty well. The idea is that Mance Rayder came down for the wedding, right? And so he's there, and he's hanging with all of the lowlifes at the back of the hall, which is what he specifically says. And he said he came with a bag of silver, which is what the one thing that was actually on the Cat's Paw when they searched where he was sleeping in the barn in the stables. And so the idea is that either Mance is causing chaos south of the wall for his wildling invasion, or because in wildling culture, being crippled is something that is horrible and it's really just a mercy to kill them. He would do it because it's just a mercy to put them out of their misery, which is actually what Robert said too. So it's not even like just a wildling thing. It's like just everybody has this opinion, apparently, that you should just, kill disabled people. This is what I mean. And we have this from Val, who thinks it's a mercy to kill. It would be a mercy to kill Shireen. And so, there's evidence of Mance Rayder too. I think that Mance Rayder probably actually fits. I mean, Mance being at Winterfell is really stupid, but assuming that Mance is at Winterfell, yeah, why wouldn't he try to kill Bran? Like, what reason would he not have to try to kill Bran?
I'm still a bit on Joffrey because of that moment during the wedding when Tyrion brings up the dagger and Joffrey gives him that look. But you're also right that the motivation is there with Mance doing it. It kills two birds with one stone, or one dagger, giving the mercy to the cripple and also causing chaos among the families. But it also requires Mance to have that Littlefinger luck, kind of, because of how things play out.
Well, he spots a chance and takes advantage of it at the time.
Sure.
But it's not that lucky. It's not as lucky as Littlefinger.
Not as lucky as Littlefinger.
Freaking telling Catelyn that the dagger is Tyrion, and then Catelyn running into Tyrion at the end at the crossroads because Tyrion has jetpacked from Winterfell to get there at the exact same time. Yeah,
we're branching off into another theory, but that also coincides with my favorite theory right now, which is that Marillion is Littlefinger's creature. And Littlefinger directed Marillion to, keep Catelyn there because he expected Tyrion to go to the inn at the crossroads